refresh our decor for the new year, we thought we would ask our experts, what are your design principles? Because we like to learn from you, and maybe there's something we can get from the principles that we can sort of use in our own lives. So Karen, I'm going to start with you. What's your favorite design principle, or the thing that you always go to when you're designing a space?
I use this every single day in every single thing I do, and it's called the golden section or golden ratio, which sounds very technical, and to dummy it down, it's the rule of thirds. And so everything we design is in thirds because, for example, even putting chair rail up, you know, it's 2/3 of the wall and 1/3 of the wall. We're building built-ins. You know, we like to have, you know, the counter height be at 30, 36, or 42, and then higher. Baseboards, you think about, you know, baseboards have to be relative to the space in terms of, you know, how you're putting things together. It's about proportion. Okay. So, and the thing is that this thing called the golden section exists in nature. There's 100 examples of it in our own human body. Okay. And it's in all the architecture, Greek architecture, so the Parthenon, Stonehenge.
We just naturally do it.
Yes, we naturally, and so it feels natural to us because we've seen it so many times in our life. Yes. And so I'm going to show you a real life example of it, and then we're going to see a built-in that follows these rules of third.
Do you want to see the picture now?
Well, sure. So this built-in right here on the screen follows the rule of third. So you can see that, for example, the fireplace and the area to the right of it are 1/3, and then the area to the left are 2/3. If you look at just the fireplace and the area to the right of it where the lamp is, that's 2/3 and 1/3. If you look at the overall height off the ground, it's all in thirds. And even the ceiling lines follow the rule of thirds. So it feels good. Yes. And you've walked into spaces where you've looked at built-ins before, you've looked at something and it doesn't feel right and you can't put your finger on it. Yeah. It's because it's not following these rule of third. And the actual, so thirds would be dividing by 0.66. It's actually 0.61 is this thing called the golden section. So let's get your calculators ready. We're gonna have a little fun game here. So I'm gonna get, somebody have a calculator in the audience. Get your calculator ready. Okay, so we're gonna get Tracy to stand up, and she's going to kick off her shoes. I'm going to show you a real life example.
Let's see if I feel good to people. Am I following the rules?
So let's see.
Does it feel right?
So Tracy is 66 inches tall. So if we divide that, who in the audience has a calculator, by 1.61? Just yell out the answer.
Oh, no.
1.61.
She's like, I don't know.
Okay, does anybody answer? 40? Did we get 40? Okay, so what we should find out is from the floor to Tracy's navel should be 40 inches. So right here is your belly button. What does that say?
40.
It is. 40.
Am I right? She's right. So that means that my body follows the rule of thirds.
And there's so many of them in the human body. Like, for example, the width of our face, the length of our face. Yeah. You know, from our fingertip to our shoulder, this is 1/3, this is 2/3. There's just, even inside, like our lungs and everything follows this rule of thirds. Okay. It's just a pattern that's repeated in nature. So we repeat it in our built-ins and all of our built environment, and it'll work like a charm.
Okay, we've got 2 minutes left for Jax and Shy. So Jackie, Jackie, what's your design principle that you go to all the time?
Okay, well, it's a lot simpler than yours, I gotta tell you. Okay, so what I do with color. And I like visual flow and sequence from room to room. So if I'm doing color for a client, I will take a color and I'll put the main color at its full strength in maybe one of the prominent rooms. And then I start intuitively to say, I want a quarter strength in the hall, or I want 3/4 over here. So what happens is you get the same tone. Yes. It kind of moves really nicely through the space. I'll usually add a kicker color somewhere in wallpaper, whatever. But the basic color palette
through. We've got a picture
really
of that.
simple.
So
and
this is see we
but
can
it just shows shade variation. So I just intuitively will say this feels like it should be a quarter, and that of course is based on the light that's in the home that I'm working on.
Nice. Okay, Shy, you're up. What's your principle that you go to all the time?
Balance. So balance, and not to be confused with symmetry. So you know, in a space, oftentimes I'll walk into a room and a client will be, I don't know what's wrong with it, and much like you say, rule of thirds, it's oftentimes balance. So you can balance a room. We'll pull up a picture. You can balance one side of a room not symmetrically with the other side of the room. So you see in this room, the living area, which has more furniture, more pieces, the bigger pieces, the windows, is balanced in the dining area with the drum lamps over the table, the darker wood in the table. So it creates a visual balance, not necessarily symmetry, and that's a really important one.
Oh, very cool. Okay, I like the principles, guys.